Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Biden's State of the Union speech was an overdue act of transparency.
The tax system is not fair.
When Mr. Biden finally announces his re-election bid, it's clear he'll be running as a Democratic socialist.
South Carolinians should be voting for Joe Biden.
What a welcome departure this is from the misrepresentation Representative Jim Clyburn perpetrated on voters to get Mr. Biden elected as a centrist in 2020. Recall how he drew on his party's performance in 2016 to make his case.
These are basically moderate and conservative districts that we did well in. And in those districts, it's going to be tough to hold on to these jobs if you have to make the case for accepting a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist.
Mr. Clyburn shrewdly calculated that neither Mr. Sanders nor Senator Elizabeth Warren could win in the general election. Alas, today the ideological goals and policies of both of these politicians permeate the Democratic Party.
Pass my proposal for the billionaire minimum tax.
During his State of the Union address, Mr. Biden conclusively buried the policy moderation that Bill Clinton represented. The era of big government is back.
We pay for these investments in our future by finally making the wealthiest and biggest corporations begin to pay their fair share.
Mr. Biden forestalled any conceivable primary challenge from the party's left by leaving no progressive priority unturned.
Let's face reality. The climate crisis doesn't care if you're in a red or blue state. It's an existential threat.
In fact, there came a point in Mr. Biden's speech when undecided voters had to be wondering, just what part of the American pie does this guy not want to get his fingers into?
My administration is also taking on junk fees. Those hidden surcharges too many companies use to make you pay more.
Mr. Biden described what he had done or would do for women, election reform, marriage, gas prices, 20,000 infrastructure projects, lead in pipes, cancer, insulin, price controls on drugs, Medicaid expansion. It went on and on.
We're going to ban surprise resort fees that hotels charge on your bill.
And then it got weirder.
We can stop service fees on tickets to concerts and sporting events and make companies disclose all the fees up front. And we'll prohibit airlines from charging $50 round trip for a family just to be able to sit together.
Suddenly, Mr. Biden was identifying microscopic economic discrepancies he vowed to erase.
So a cashier at a burger place can't walk across town and take the same job at another burger place and make a few bucks more. It just changed. Well, they just changed it because we exposed it. But not anymore.
Even Karl Marx would not have thought to propose so much flat earth socialism. Next, it was home care, housing, student debt, mental health, and addressing the crime crisis with counselors, social workers, and psychologists.
Let's give public school teachers a raise.
The economic populism proposals Mr. Biden outlined resemble Xi Jinping's national champion policies for China.
Tonight, I'm announcing new standards that require all construction materials used in federal infrastructure projects to be made in America.
Absent price controls, a favored Biden policy, cost inevitably will rise, borne by consumers.
Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority.
That was the speech's most publicized moment, and the White House is reportedly thrilled Mr. Biden goaded Republicans into denying any such intention.
If anyone tries to cut Social Security, which apparently no one's going to do, and if anyone tries to cut Medicare, I'll stop them. I'll veto it.
But consider the bottom line. Mr. Biden has taken even a conversation about reform of entitlement spending off the table.
I'm not going to allow them to be taken away. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But apparently it's not going to be a problem.
Representative Clyburn, of course, was right that South Carolinians are leery of socialism. And despite claims to the contrary,
look, I'm a capitalist.
His candidate is about to test that proposition on a national scale.